Hello, Galaxy. Chris Perillo here. Apologies for the slight delay all around. I was having fun with Jedi earlier, playing with Masters of the Universe toys, some vintage toys that I had picked up a while ago, thrifting. That thrift store is now closed. She decided to pull them out because she thinks that I sound like Orko. So I've got my print going. I'm continuing the Santa Claus figure build, the figure prints. Printing the bodies downstairs right now in multicolors. Right now, I've got the legs completed, the arms completed. After the head, the only thing I'll need is the hat, and I don't think I'll be able to do that tonight. I'm gonna probably run that tomorrow, but it'll just take a couple hours, and then my Santa figures will be done, thanks to Polymaker. So what I've been wanting to do for quite some time, actually, is steer a lot of the conversations that I have on these streams towards a lot of my interest. Yes, 3D printing is one of them, certainly. But, Star Wars, collecting, retro, vintage, I'm an adult fan of Lego, all that stuff. And, there's a group of people who do regular geek outs, usually earlier in the day. I guess I'm a night owl compared to many of them. And one of the things that, I thought is like, hey, maybe any one of them would be willing or able to join. And John from the Super Awesome Geek Show, you may remember, may or may not, he's now in video, theoretically, and you should be able to hear him, theoretically.
Oh, hello, hey!
There he is. All right. So John used to be in Seattle, and used to live in Seattle. That's where I met him. And I can't remember how we even crossed paths. Was it through Alter Ego?
Yeah, it was Chris. Yeah.
Yep.
Chris at Alter Ego. Chris
an old comic store.
And, yeah.
And John at that point was working somewhere else. And if you can't hear, by the way, if no one can hear John or his audio needs to be tuned, please let me know. I can hear him just fine. But then John decided to up and move. I couldn't tell you which vlog it was, but I remember doing a brief tour. He's got like retro video games, retro collectibles, and that collection is grown even bigger. As you can see behind him, like everybody looks at me and says, "Oh my God, you have so many things on your shelf." I'm like, "Oh my God, you have no idea. I know plenty of other people who have more shelves and a bigger presence, and John is certainly one of them." So he's got his bona fides. John works for I can say this, yeah.
Yeah, works for Lego. Go ahead.
John works for Lego, so I know a lot of streamers. I probably should tease this. So, John, I think moving forward on Saturdays, I may go earlier in the day, if only to bring you back in as well as the other guys, because I can have on Twitch natively with the chat and everything, I can have up to 4 other people. So I think like having just 2 people or like up to 3 people at any given time makes a pretty good type of broadcast. So John, there are a lot of people on Twitch, as you may very well know, are brick builders. They're constantly building sets. I suck at it. I mean, I've been getting through the Lego advent calendars, and I gotta give. I know this is not you, but like this year's Star Wars Lego Advent Calendar is great because there's not just one unique minifigure, there's at least 3. Like R2, 3PO, and Vader, which is fantastic to see. Because I just did not feel that great about earlier ones. I also like what they've been doing with Marvel. So even as the prices have gone up, like the value to me has risen as well. At least as far as the minifigures go. The regular old bricks, I'm not as inclined to get, apart from when they go on sale, and I that's usually when I get my Lego sets. It's like, 50% off, 60% off. I picked up some video sets. I love those, if only for the minifigures. And what else have I picked up recently? Well, I can't really say because Santa Claus may be handling some of those gifts. So could you explain to everybody what you do for Lego there? And John's in Florida.
Yeah. It's actually changed a little bit over the years due to the flight and the way things
Right.
go with travel. But when I was hired as a brand merchandiser, and what that is I had the South Florida market, so basically Fort Lauderdale and North Miami area, and I would go to like any local convention that wanted something built Lego. Like if they had a Lego display, or Lego was actually being there with a booth officially, I would go there and build their displays. And my daily job consists of basically going to Walmart's, Target, Lego store, whatever. Sometimes like Best Buy, and sometimes a few of the smaller ones that have Lego, and just I basically talk to the managers, make sure that they're securing space for the product, and then if there's anything that needs to be put on display, like a cardboard dump that you see in the aisle, if the store didn't do it, I'll pull it out of the back room and put it up. And then at Target and Walmart, you might see those glass boxes, especially at the Lego store, the stuff in the glass cases that's built. A lot of times I will build those sets and put them in the glass cases.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always wondered about that. I didn't know like if they came pre-built and glued, or
well,
or
they do a lot of them do come in sections. Like the famous one I talk about is like the X-wing. I don't know if you remember, there was an X-wing that had Luke and Biggs, or no, it was Luke and Biggs, and you could make it Red 2 or Red 5. Remember that one?
Oh, I remember the set you're talking about.
Yeah, it had two pilots and two with the droids. And it was either Luke and Wedge or it was Luke and Biggs. I don't remember which one it was. But like the fuselage was pre-built and glued together. Then you had to put the nose on. Then you put the wings on. And each of those were basically glued into their parts. So it was essentially like putting 7 or 8 pieces that were pre-built together. And then you put it on this little display and set the minifigures up. And so yeah, a lot of times some of it is glued, and I don't like it. I'd rather not glue any Lego.
I know. I am not a gluer. I don't. And by the way, Left Coast Graphics says his YouTube looks funny. Let's see if I have any Left Coast within arm's reach.
Yeah. Do you have any? You got his pins? You got his pins, right?
I've got a couple of them, and I'm not sure I have them. No, I've got a Star Tots in arm's reach. I think.
You gotta have a Darth Vader, don't you? If you don't, we gotta get in touch.
Actually,
we gotta get Rick to send one over to you. If you don't have a Darth Vader,
I can't remember. I can't remember. No, but here's the funny thing. So there's a guy, he goes by the handle 3D Printy. Like, people of course know me very well. Like I'm big into Star Wars and figures and whatnot. And you remember Star Tots, right?
Oh yeah,
the Star Tots. So he what he did here. Let me try to hold it up so John can see it to the camera. He modeled this is flat. It's not a figurine, but it's a Darth Vader, like a Star Tot that was done kind of like the pins that are given out at Celebration.
Yeah.
Because I was like, great, do all of them. Yes, I would take all of them. He didn't. He did an Emperor Palpatine and then this one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I've got at least a one or two. But I'm not sure I've got them in arm's reach here, at least right now. Most of what I do anymore, though, is I basically 3D print. Like I just did. Of course, nothing's in arm's reach right now. Because I have everything, because I'm in the middle of doing Santa Clauses and I cleared everything else out. But there's a guy. His name is Itor. His name is Play Action Toys. Oh, sorry, and he does.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah. So this is like a snow trooper, right? And they come in individual pieces. And they're modeled like basically like almost like classic or vintage 3.75 inch scale, 5 POA typically, but like they're like Playmobil figures. That's basically what they are. They're Star Wars and he does Star Wars and he does some Marvel. But I'm constantly I think Left Coast you've even seen it because on Twitter sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I've just printed this. I just did a Moff Gideon. That's the one I just did." But I put it's not in here. So I just did a Moff Gideon.
Did you do some Rebel Troopers? I saw
Rebel Troopers, different
Troopers.
skins.
They were good. Yeah,
and it took a while. And right now he just released hang on, John, you're gonna love this. So because he knows I'm constantly printing his stuff, right? And thank you for following OS 10 Freak. So check this out. It's a Chris Pirillo action figure. This is you can print your own Chris Pirillo 5 POA action figure if
and
you
he
wanted to. It's free.
appropriately has a Darth Vader shirt
Well,
on.
yeah, the one I showed you is the one that I used the Darth Vader body. It doesn't exactly work perfectly with the regular arms, but it's like, it's fine. Nothing ever really works perfectly when it comes to 3D printing. So what I've been printing like different shirts or sweatshirts for him, having fun with that. And right now I'm mid Santa Claus build.
Oh, there you go.
And that'll be done. I'm doing, because usually when I do them, kind of like with the Rebel soldiers, like especially when it comes to army building, like I'll do like many of them, and then sometimes like when it comes to Darth Vaders or stormtroopers, I'll print them. Like if I get a different filament color, like red, so I'm gonna print some crimson troopers, and like for 2 of them or 4 of them, I'm gonna make them like peppermint. So I'm gonna print alternating white body parts and red body parts, so it'll come out looking kind of like a candy cane. So it'll be candy cane themed troopers. And so
does your printer have the ability to alternate colors during the print?
The one, I have 2 printers, and the one I have downstairs, a Bamboo X1 Carbon, has that ability. You can so I'll often like paint, like what I'm doing right now with Santa Claus is I've painted like a white stripe, or he's given in the model itself, there's like a protrusion that could be another color if you wanted to. So I just basically paint that and then use that filament so that he'll have white fluff. Santa will have the white fluff going down. But so I do that sometimes. But like the Chris Pirillo, just one example. I'm not needing to do color swaps for the different parts. I just the pants are blue. Okay, bing, done. It just depends on each particular model. So yeah, and I didn't when I originally started printing, I have like a ton of like these monochromatic stormtroopers. I have like a whole series of like hologram figurines, Darth Vader's in multiple colors. But like he releases a new model, like one new model every week, and he's got like a Patreon account, and like I don't know how many people he has, but like I'm like just about dang near every week I'm like, oh, I'm printing a new figure, so it's like I love it, it's like I didn't have this figure before. Now he did a 9 Num earlier, he did an Akbar, he did a Raddus, which is pretty much like an Akbar.
Well, we gotta have a Hammerhead. Did he do it yet?
I know he hasn't done one yet. So I mean I'm pushing, because he's asking like what things. I'm gonna ask him like E.T. I would love to have. I'd love to print an E.T. He's done a Yoda, he's done a Grogu.
I gotta get a Yoda.
Yeah, they're not the older models that he started on. Not great, right? Like kind of like they worked, but not as well as they did. As they have in recent generations, where he's kind of got a style down, makes it easy to assemble, etc. By the way, thank you. It's a trap. Thank you, Ashernak, for the subscription. Appreciate that. So yeah, I'm still getting toys. Like I don't, and usually, when I was doing streams every night, it was, oh, I got this, I got that, I got this. But like my since Santa Claus is coming, I have not been getting anything, but Christmas morning, you never know what's going to show up under the tree. There have been some interesting deals out there for me to pick up on, but I this year was the year, I got to tell you, this is the year I slowed way down on Black Series, and I was
me too.
I basically stopped. I'm like, they released, it was like the prices went up, and then it was a Gaming Greats, like a repaint of a Battle Droid at GameStop. And by the way, the Seattle area has gone downhill for toy runs. Like, Walmarts have been horrible here to begin with. We lost one of those. Crossroads Mall basically lost everything that was interesting. Bellevue Square lost everything that was interesting. Disney Store closed. You go to one Target store, you pretty much gone to a mall. I mean, there's no boutique stores. So yeah, it's been hard, and so I can't get the sales of like GameStop unless they're online. And then I guess Dorkside Toys. So there's a couple things I want to dive into. I want to come back to Dorkside Toys because apparently they're shuttering.
They're closing. They're done. Yeah.
They're done. Okay, so I didn't know if they were in the process of shuttering or what.
Well, they are. I think you can still go online and get some discounted merchandise. Yeah.
I'd be a little worried about that, but that's just me. And I know the guys. I've met them. Great guys, but I know it's hard to run a business. So when basically my turning point, because I got to hear your turning point. My turning point, I love Black Series. Don't get me wrong. I still buy them. Like the holiday figures, right? The holiday ones where they're all like gingerbread clone trooper and whatever. I'm like, yes, those are fun. I love them. Great, love it. But like if it's a character that's like, okay, I like that character, but like, do I really need to spend $30 on this figure or this however much it's running? I'm like, yeah, that's where I stop. So I'm going to be more selective. Now, vintage collection, I'm all in. Like that's my scale, right? But like,
well, I had to put that. I was the same way, but I had to put that Boba Fett back. I picked up a Boba Fett off Target. Went up vintage collection Boba Fett. Went up to the register. It was $20.99. So I went, nope, put it right back.
Dude, they jacked it up. Those exclusives, they jacked up the price.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like all across. It's. I mean, I don't know. I think I have the Boba Fett. They were very limited. They were there and gone, and I'm pretty sure I have at least one of the animated Boba Fett, which is frustrating because I would have liked to have more than one. But Target has run up on their exclusives, and whether it's vintage collection or Black Series. But yeah, basically now the vintage collection on those exclusives run the same thing as the Black Series when it launched.
Yeah,
like I mean, it was GameStop exclusive, and I'm like. I looked at it, I'm like, dude, I love battle droids. This is great. An army builder. It's amazing. And so, but I stopped myself. I'm like, I'd like this. I'd really like this, but I think I'm done with Black Series. And that took a lot. It took a lot to say, no, I'm done. And vintage collection, I don't think I'm ever going to get there, right? Like in terms of that, because most of what I'll get, because I'm with Left Coast Graphics, I'm all in on the retro collection as well. Because, 5 POA for life.
Yeah.
Although it bugs me, I wish they'd spend more time creating new characters than going back and doing like the bounty hunters or Return of the Jedi stuff, like the ones that there are vintage items available. I understand why, because some people didn't have a brand new biker scout or whatever, but it doesn't bother me as much. I still get them, but like I want to see newer characters retroed. I'm all about that. I'm all in.
Well, I liked the Obi-Wan ones, even though they do seem to be sitting around.
Yeah, the Obi-Wans were great. The Obi-Wan wave was great. The Mandalorian ones were decent, but it's like as soon as you give me like 3 variants of the same character, I'm like, dude, like
that's true. We did get like 2 or 3 Mandos, didn't we?
I'm like, I get it. Okay, Mando with Beskar, Mando with this, Mando. I'm like, oh god, geez, please, you could have done this character, you could have done that character. So I hope for more diversity.
The Ahsoka figure was great, and
I love the Ahsoka one.
The Death Trooper, I liked him, and I liked the.
I grabbed an extra one of him too.
The damn girl, Katie Sackhoff. What's
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So was there 2 Mando? I thought there was 3. I could be wrong, or maybe it was a repack, or maybe I'm just thinking wrong. There have been 2 Mando waves though.
Yeah.
So maybe there are only 2 Mandos. Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking Black Series or Vintage Collection because they just have variants with the spiders or variants with Grogu or variants with Ahsoka. This to me, it's been hard because I enjoy it, right? and I like what I see, but it's just it's hard to justify continuing down that path. And I said, okay, I can't be a completist. I'm done. I can't. Yeah. Hey, Salacious Rum. Good to see you.
Salacious he's right still here. Awake, man. Do you know what time it is in the UK?
Yeah, that's my question. What time is it? Because you thought you were up late.
It's almost 2 a.m. there.
Or early. Black Series have like 17 Mandos. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So Black Series, I basically pulled away from by and large. I mean, for the most part. And I'll chase, right? Like when there's something that's really cool.
I'll definitely get the original trilogy stuff. So Star Wars Empire Jedi. If it's in there, I'll try to get it. Yeah. But
yeah, see, I haven't made that line. If it's an original trooper, yeah.
Yeah. And I will get the Jedi. Like I gotta get Alia Sakura. Like I do like my clone era Jedi, so I want to get those. But I am very selective. Yeah, I have to be because.
Well, you have to be, right?
Yeah.
So I decided, like, okay, Black Series, I'm easing off, but it's not bad because a lot I notice, especially in the holiday. If I pull away from Black Series, it's actually good news because I see a lot of Black Series go on heavy discount, heavy. So I'm basically my Black Series collecting moving forward is probably going to be much like with Lego. I don't really. I mean, there have been sets that I've paid full price for because I'm like, I don't know what this is going to drop. I bought the Death Trooper. I'm sorry, the Dark Trooper set. Oh, John, yeah, this is. I love printing the Dark Trooper figures in multiple filament colors, like red and gold. So Itor, the Play Action Toys, he's got a Dark Trooper model. I don't know if you can see it very well from your camera angle, but I'm constantly printing these. But like I can't wait for the vintage collection of those. So
yeah,
you know, I'm a sucker for the troopers, but like I'm going to wait on I am going to wait, I think, for Black Series until like it's a good chunk off. So much like with Lego, I'll be honest, like it's just like with Lego sets. I'm like I can't, but as soon as you say here's a 40% off deal, I'm like I can't pass that up. Like this is a great set. Yeah. I would like it. It's got a high minifigure value for me.
Does Fred Meyer still do those sales where they once in a while when I lived there they would have it like you buy one you get a second one for like 50% off or something?
Sometimes, although the ones I usually wait for are the ones on like Amazon or Walmart this time of year. That's when it's like 40% off, so I'll get 2 for 40% off, right?
Yeah,
one to keep in the box, one to possibly open. And then even with the Lego Advent calendars, I don't buy them full price. I wait until they're 20 to 40% off, and then I get them, right? I mean, because every year it goes 20 to 40% off.
The last week of December, they're like, yeah, you could get them pretty soon. Actually, really soon they'll all go on.
Well, no, they have dropped. They have dropped already. Like I like around Black Friday, they went like the Harry Potter one was going for like $23. So, you know, I was able to justify, okay, I'll get that, you know, for Jedi. So yeah, this past year, I would say I've made choices like, it's not a New Year's resolution necessarily, but pulled back from Black Series, and decided that I really enjoy the Super 7 stuff, and they've gone up in price too. It's the 5 POA, right? And so that their G.I. Joe stuff, I'm in. Transformer stuff, I'm in.
I've only bought the G.I. Joes that I found on discount because I can't spend. They're about $18 down here.
Yep.
And I can't do $18 a figure, so
it's hard.
But occasionally I see them $12, $15 marked down at Target.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy all the ones that are on sale. So I have a good selection when I've seen them on sale. So
see, the Super 7 stuff sometimes goes on sale, not as much. What I realize is that as far as a collector goes, I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of 5 POA, like the retro, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't. But see, I think you have more. And by the way, thank you, Man Cave Hobbies, for resubscribing. Good to see you again. Also, nice to see you watch with Wayne. We're just geeking out, talking toys, as grown men are oft to do. Some more bearded than others.
Well, see, Chris all has this nice hair on top. I'm always jealous of his hair. You have such nice hair, so I had to grow it down here.
Yes, it is John, Man Cave Hobbies. It is John. You get more. I think you get more of a variety of figures than I do. Like the Marvel stuff or beyond.
Yes,
like I get the Marvel 5 POA stuff, like the vintage or the retro, whatever they call them.
I love those. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'll get. I won't get the super articulated, super whatever. I'll just get like the vintage style, and so I'm able to get like a lot of the same things, like the Joes. Like everyone's into the classified series, or what is it called? Is that what it is?
Classified.
Yeah, I only got maybe a couple of those like the Cobra Commander, or 2 Cobra Commanders, because there was a gold variant, and I think I got a Bats. Oh, the retro. That's the one you got to get from Super 7. The Bats. The vintage, dude. They did a really good job with that one. Although it doesn't have the lenticular chest, unfortunately. I went back after getting that one. I'm like, I've got to get one in good shape, and so I headed off to eBay and got it. I picked up a vintage bat with accessories complete. Because I had one, but it just was not in good shape.
It can be expensive in the vintage one.
He can. But that's the thing is I don't chase down like carded versions. I don't chase down full full sets, I'll just kind of pick and choose. Like I won't go and get like all the vintage Joes. That's just impossible. I'm not gonna go that route.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
like one character or two in good shape, I'm like, great, that's perfect for the collection. So like I went thrifting. There's like hardly any value villages open anymore.
Yeah, didn't they close a lot of those? That is
tons.
a real shame. Yeah.
Redmond closed. God, where else closed? There was a couple others that closed that I went to, and
I used
which
to
is
do a big circuit every 2 or 3 days. I would hit like 5 or 6 of those.
John, I did too.
Yeah.
So luckily the ones that I normally hit, the only one that I normally hit is open. So, but the problem is all the scalpers go there. So I lose out. Yeah. I've lost out on minutes. I've lost out by minutes. Like really good finds by minutes. Yeah. Like seeing someone I'm like anger inducing.
Well, like I don't know if it's still this way, but I found a couple of the stores, the best time to go was between 10 and 11, because the people who got there in the morning that are responsible for filling that toy shelf,
right?
They would, when they get there in the morning, say 8 or 9 a.m., they would be prepping everything in the back room. And by the time they got prepping, it would be 10 or 11 where they're out putting it on the shelf.
Right.
So if you got there right when they opened, they wouldn't be up yet. You had to wait till 10. And then that was like
ours is always flowing. When I go there, I can see him still putting stuff out. There's never really a good time. The biggest score...
I remember the droid score. The
droid score was awesome, but look at this.
That was my favorite.
Hang on, John. This was like $7 for a Vader, vintage Vader Kenner with cape, complete, with the lightsaber, everything intact. Like
that's awesome.
That was like I literally walked up. I'm like, that kind of looks like it is. Like I grabbed it. like it's mine.
I can't believe it had the lightsaber. That's crazy.
No, I know. So it was all complete perfect, like never touched. So it shocked me to find that. So yeah, thrifting's been decent, but not, I think not like it used to. More of my thing, I'll just wait until, where I was going with thrifting is, I found like it was a race dance. It was like a vintage Kenner Ghostbusters figure, right? The 5-inch scale, the ones where you pumped the arms and the eyes popped out or the hair went up.
Oh,
and everything.
Yeah.
And it was in a bag, and it was kind of a beater. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm like, I never got the Kenner Ghostbusters figures. They really weren't my scale, but they were kind of cool, and it was Kenner. So then that took me, because I'm like, well, if I'm going to get that one, then I'm going to want to get the other 3 too. And I'm like, so I'm going to have to chase on eBay anyway. So I went to eBay and just basically bought the figures. They're not in great shape, and they're not complete. But I'm like, I feel I got a pretty decent price on them for the most part. So, yeah, no, so thrifting sometimes will send me to eBay. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I even get like Dungeons and Dragons, like those new Dungeons and Dragons figures. I'm all in.
I don't know if I've seen those.
Are those the ones from the old cartoon?
Oh, right. Yeah. I think I knew of them. But what is that, a Super 7?
No, I actually don't remember who's making those. But
see, I watched the cartoon, but I wasn't.
They're larger. They're more like a.
Okay.
I think they're more like a 6-inch scale.
6-inch scale. Yeah. But, see, I know collectors love that, but I'm like, I like I said, everyone I feel that at this point I have to draw a line. And I enjoy all these fandoms. And so I thought, I'm thinking, what's the touch point between all these fandoms? Yes, figures, but what kind of figures? And the ones that I like are like the vintage Kenner ones. And that's basically Super 7's cornered the market on that. Minus the ones that Hasbro might be doing for Marvel or Star Wars or maybe beyond. So I'm glad that the 5 POA seems to be a thing that is selling enough that we're seeing various fandoms at least continue with it. So it just 5 POA is basically my way of collecting cross fandom, and because it's not just Star Wars, but even Star Wars, I had to stop. Like Mattel, they stopped doing they had Hot Wheels, right?
Yeah.
They stopped doing their car. They basically stopped doing what I think they stopped character cars and their car ships, maybe, and they had spaceships. They had actual vehicles,
Well, they just went to the large scale
They went to
ones.
larger ones. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, and the more, see, that's the thing. The larger they go, I'm like, eh. And
Yeah.
now, you know, even Jazzwares has got their micro machines, basically, you know,
Yep,
those vehicles.
Yep.
I was I don't know how I feel about those. I'm not a vehicle guy, but I like the little figurines. But I'm not sure if I'm like all in on those. If only
Yeah.
because they're vehicles that just doesn't do it for me as much. So the bigger stuff and the vehicle stuff, I have to personally, I just like, yeah, no. A lot of the super articulated stuff, like even like Black Series, Star Wars Black Series range, I'm like, eh. And the only exception to that is Masters of the Universe. I have picked up those, the retro
Yeah, me too.
Motu.
Yeah.
Not I don't know if I'm complete. They had to reissue like a Roboto wave that I totally missed out on too. I'm pretty sure.
See, for me, my collecting, the reason it spans multiple franchises, you know, is because for me it's what I grew up with, it watching cartoons and into the
Right.
comic books. So like my Marvel Legends 6-inch, every one of them was either 80s and 90s comic book or 80s and 90s cartoon.
Right.
So I don't get the MCU versions of all the figures. I only go for the cartoon ones that I grew up with.
That makes sense.
And it's like once I feel like I have the definitive, like I've got a Scorpion, say from Spider-Man that I like, I won't buy any more Scorpions. And then I have a great Spider-Man. There's 2 or 3 Spider-Mans that I have that I really like, so that I don't need any more Spider-Man, you know. So it's like I get that character, that version that I think that's the definitive version of that guy, and I'm happy with it. So now I don't need him again. So if they the only one I get trapped on is Wolverine. I seem to buy every damn Wolverine they make, you know. So, but except for the MCU ones, I only get the, you know. But I often see like, oh, that's the one from this comic, or that's the one from this, you know. So I end up getting it. But yeah, Wolverine's kind of a little bit of a minor focus for that. But that's why I had to get like the Dungeons and Dragons and things, because I grew up with those cartoons, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, right? It's like, you know, I may have grown up with it, but like it's different. It's just different. It always hits different.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like I may have seen those cartoons, but I'm not as interested in getting the toys for them, you know? So it just depends on what it is. And Star Wars is typically, for me, is typically the exception to the rule. Typically. Not always. But
the other thing too with I have bought like Transformers especially has gone way down in my purchase. I used to get pretty much everyone that came out. But now I feel like I have a modern version of almost all the characters that I really enjoy. And the other thing is the prices have gone way up on Transformers. It's probably worse.
Have they? They've gone up everywhere across the board.
Yeah, so I'm almost totally done with Transformers just because of that. But what it does for me though is I find myself going back and either from local. I got 3 really good shops near me. One of them's just 5 minutes down the road.
You are so lucky.
And they're vintage toy shops and vintage comic stores and stuff.
I hate you.
And so I will go in there almost weekly to these stores, especially the one that Joey and Nilda run. That's just literally like 2 stoplights down the road. They're right next door, and and like I can call Joey up and be like, "Hey man, you know, even when he's closed on like Mondays." And I could be like, hey, man, I got someone in town. They want to check out the store. And he's like, yeah, I'll meet you over there Monday at 10 o'clock. Oh, nice. And he'll just open it for just us, you know. And I always make sure I buy stuff because he had took the time out to, you know. But it's like, and he's very reasonable with stuff. You know, either I can trade him things or I can just buy a couple of things for, you know.
We don't have anything like that anymore.
Pile stuff up and make a deal, you know. And
we don't have anything anymore. Really?
So
Bobocon maybe, but
I find myself buying a lot more vintage, you know, things that, you know, in the past it was like I was happy having Lion-O from the Thundercats, and I had Mum-Ra. So I was
Right.
like, I got the two main bad guys. I don't need any more. But now I've got all the villains, and
Nice.
I've been working on getting all the heroes. So it's like it's made me open up those vintage collections to, well,
Yep.
why not get more of those? If I'm not
Yep.
spending money on modern, I'll
Right.
spend it on the
Well,
vintage stuff.
and that's the thing is, in some cases, the modern is more expensive than the vintage.
Yeah, it
In many
is.
cases, like it's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Like that new
I
ATST, that new one that came up for like it's
oh
almost
right,
$100 for the.
I'm like, yeah, I
You can
passed on
buy
it
a
because
vintage one for that price.
the Chewbacca did not impress me. I'm like, I'll wait maybe when that goes on sale. But I did get to my
Yeah.
I did get the bunker because it's got Gus
Me
Van
too. I
Sant,
wanted to get the bunker. Yeah.
because the Gus figure, right? The
Yeah.
alleged
Yeah.
Captain Rex, right? I'm like, oh my god, that made the set. Like that is total fan service right there. I'm like, I'm in. Shut up and take my money.
Plus the other side of that one was the bunker that I've been trying to get for the last 4 or 5 years was the one from the '90s when they did the Power of the Force stuff. They did the bunker.
Oh right.
And I think it had a tree next to it or something,
Uh,
but it essentially was the same thing. It was just the bunker and the door opened, but you did. I don't think you got any figures with that one.
no, I don't
And
think.
it's been going for $80 to $100. So when I saw this for what $50 or something, I was like, and it's way more detailed and better
Right.
looking. So I was like, and you get a figure with it on card even. So I
Easy.
was like, I'd rather spend the $50 on this new one than spend $100 on the one from the '90s because I've
Yep.
been wanting a bunker for to do a little Endor display, and now I'll have
See,
one.
it's funny to watch these trends, but like I said, like the more modern stuff that I see, and the price, depending on like there are certain exceptions to this rule, right? But like what was I looking at today? Okay, so years ago, I was at the Redmond Value Village. It's one that closed, and they had like several sacks of vintage Masters of the Universe. And so I grabbed them all. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I didn't do anything with it. And then last year, Jedi was asking about something. And so I just pulled them out and she had fun with them. And I had a Grizzlor and somehow it disappeared. Mine growing up. And I'm like, she might like it because it's got hair, fur. I'm like, let me check the prices. And it was reasonable. You could get a vintage Grizzlor, maybe not complete, but a vintage Grizzlor for under $20. Like as opposed to a modern, which is going to run you $25.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it's like, well, at that point, it may not be brand new, but it is vintage. So if you're going to spend the money, I think I'm not saying vintage is going to not come back. I don't think it's driven up the prices, at least at this point. But inflation, maybe I'm wrong, but inflation doesn't seem to have touched vintage.
No,
It
and
doesn't.
in fact, we had that bump during the COVID thing where a lot of stuff spiked in the vintage
Yep.
market, but I found that some of it has come back down to sort of like pre-COVID, pre-pan lockdown prices, whatever you want to say. I don't know if Twitch has the same rules. I guess we're not supposed to say that word on Twitter,
What?
or on YouTube or whatever. The COVID word.
Oh yeah, I don't care. No, we know it was a pan. We're not talking about it. We're not like
yeah.
Yeah.
So but I mean, like, I have maybe 40 or 45 original vintage Star Wars on card. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't plan on getting all 96 or whatever you want to say on card. So, but what I did want to do was, I was like, I want to have at least one Princess Leia. I don't care which one it is, whatever one I found for the cheapest.
Right.
And I got Bespin Leia, and
Yeah.
I got one Luke Skywalker, which is Luke Jedi Knight, and I got Han Solo from Endor. So I was like, I've got a version of Han Solo, a version of Luke. Well, the one I didn't have was I had no version of C-3PO. I have the R2-D2 with the sensor scope, so I was like, I've got R2, that's fine. But I was like, I can't believe I don't have C-3PO. I've got Chewbacca, I've got Ben Kenobi, I've got Yoda, I've got Darth Vader. So I'm like, I gotta have a C-3PO.
Right.
So I started looking like, 6-7 years ago, and I was watching auctions, and I kept watching them sell like at local conventions and various other things. And I went, okay, I've been seeing a lot sell for $100 to $120, so I should be able to find one for $120 or less. And I put that price in my head, and I started actively searching. And all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and I started seeing them. I was bidding on some. I was going to local shops, and I see it creeped up to 130, 140, 150, over $200. It went all the way
Wow.
up to $300, and I was like, "Crap! I missed my moment. I missed my chance. I'm not going to get it now because I don't want to spend $300 on this figure." And I was like, I should have bought one of those ones when I saw them around 120 and stuff, earlier on. But I kept watching them anyways. And after we all went back to work, all of a sudden it was like I started seeing auctions go for 200, 190, 180. And
Nice.
I eventually won one for $115.
Nice.
Just about, 8 or 9 months ago. And so now I've got the C3PO in my collection on a Return of the Jedi card. And it's the take apart one with the
Oh,
limbs
right.
that come off.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it was like, so I watched it go from 120 to 300 back down to 115, and
See,
at
that's the
120
thing.
that area. So I think a lot, I mean, that's just one figure and one example, but it's something that I actually witnessed and watched as the trend went up and back down. And so I have a feeling that a lot of things have done that and are going to do that, and they'll balance themselves out,
At
and
least for the
that was just
vintage.
that was just like an artificial bump because everyone was at home and everyone had money to spend, and
Bored, right? Yeah.
yeah, they're bored. Yeah.
Oh, what about these old toys?
Yeah.
Well, I have I mean, Jedi's got just I'm not gonna say every toy imaginable, but seemingly. But I'll usually wait. I mean, I've thrifted quite a few for sure, but I'll usually wait until like Ross sometimes will have stuff
Yeah, love
on
Ross.
sale. Like
Do you have an
I got
Ollie's out there?
nope, no Ollie's
Oh,
sadly,
yeah.
because Ollie's I
Ollie's
understand has
yeah.
great stuff, and I'm like I don't have one, so and we don't have a Five Below. I have to get that stuff online
Oh
if
man,
there's
wow.
anything decent. Like we don't have Five Below, we don't have Ollie's. Like
Do
it's
you
anger inducing.
do you get the dollar, what is it, Dollar General or Dollar Tree, the one that has the
Dollar.
Final Faction figures for a
Yeah,
dollar?
I seen the Final Faction. I'm like, I got into.
Yeah,
Yeah, Final Faction. It doesn't do it for me. But what does? I like the Fortnite skins, the Fortnite figures. You can get them for like $5 a pop at Ross or wherever.
yeah.
And I've got a dang good collection of those. They
Nice.
remind me a lot of GI Joes, like
Paper
really
underscore city
from back in the day.
underscore gamer just resubscribed for 8
Some of them
So-
months.
actually look like GI Joe figures.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like these are like GI
Yeah.
Joes. And Ross, most of them I've been able to find like at a Ross, like it's
Yeah.
steeply heavily discounted for like $5 a pop, right? And so I've been very very happy with Fortnite figures, at least for now. I don't know if they're sidelining that scale because I haven't seen a lot of new ones as much as I saw the original waves. So I am a little concerned that they're shifting to just the 6-inch stuff when they shipped. I think they shifted to Hasbro. So again, this is what's it's not upsetting, but I'm like I see these shifts away from my scale to bigger scale, right?
Yeah.
And that's just
Yeah.
part of my enjoyment is like I like that scale, right? For
Well,
these kinds of things.
that's one of the things with the new Indiana Jones that's coming out. I
Right.
was like, as far as the 6-inch scale goes, I will probably only get Indiana Jones himself. I don't
Right.
care about the other characters because of the price.
Yep.
They're not. It's not that they're bad. They are fantastic looking figures, but I can't afford to buy the whole collection at those prices. So I want more of the 3.75 ones.
But they
And
only have the one.
especially- Yeah. And especially if they
Hi,
do it
Jenny
more in the
rated my
retro
stream with
style.
35 views.
Like
Totally.
There's
So-
that one indie they're coming out with that's more retro like.
Now speaking of Indian
one.
in Lucasfilm. Sorry not to interrupt, John. We've got a raid from High Jedi, a fellow fan of Star Wars. Everybody, this is my friend John, the Super Awesome Geek Show. We're geeking out about Star Wars toys, vintage toys, for Star Wars stuff. Hi Jedi. I was just John. You can grab something Star Warsy if you want. A recent acquisition. She may get a kick out of that. This is a modern, or sorry, not a modern. It's a modern find. Found this thrifting. Darth Vader. I guess you consider a larger action figure. Got it for about $5, complete with lightsaber. Rather good condition. Hi Jedi. I assume you were playing the Old Republic. Is that a good guess? Did I guess
You remember
correctly?
these?
See, I remember that. I don't have that one. Wait, hang on. No, the air speeders. I remember, but I don't know if I ever picked that up. See, I only would have been.
I kind of like these they were the prototype ones from the Ralph McQuarrie prototype. You can kind of see the drawing there.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of stuff where they just kind of
they take I mean, I love that Lucasfilm's been dipping into McQuarrie inspiration. In fact, if you saw the trailer for Bad Batch 2 this next season, there's you can see that the stormtroopers for the Bad Batch 2 look like Imperial stormtroopers, McQuarrie's Imperial stormtroopers. Like, it's very clear, inspired by that design. Very clear, which is exciting as hell. So let me thank Astronac, by the way. Thank you for resubscribing. Man Cave, you as well. Paper City Gamer, thank you for resubscribing. And Skullzavizo, thank you for the follow. Good to know that you were charity streaming. We've been doing a fair amount of that over on MakerDeck, raising thousands of dollars for Toys for Tots, as well as printing toys. For Toys for Tots. That's what we've been doing on the charity front this holiday season. Hi, Jedi. I'm so glad to see you. So glad you stopped in tonight, especially when you say you cannot stop collecting toys. So you've seen, I think, Hi, Jedi, you've seen my room. You've looked around, right? You've seen it. You've seen all the toys over there. Then you've seen the toys behind me, and you see the toys over there and everywhere. But John also has a similar type of room. John's got toys. He's surrounded by toys.
I might turn that light off if you don't mind me taking a second, because I think
go for
that's blowing out the
Is
background
it blowing it out?
here.
Yeah, take it out. Yeah, go for it. So John's an old friend. I knew him in Seattle. He's in Florida now. John works for Lego, or the Lego Group. We talked about that very briefly. So I'm definitely going to get John on again and get all the Lego streamers to join in that night, and we'll geek out with John again. Yeah, it's a little better.
Yeah,
I can see all the Yodas because you focus. I'm all Darth Vader mostly here, but you're Yoda.
That was something that worked when we were in Seattle together, when we both lived there. If we were if we went to a toy show together, it was like, I get all the Yodas, you get all the Vaders. Let's go.
That's how it works. I only picked up one. I think one Yoda this year was it was a big bad toy store. I don't know if it was the manufacturer. It was like a Yoda coming out of a chimney. The Yoda coming out of the chimney. Yeah. It was this little statuette thing. I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of neat to pull out for the holidays. And then
you got to wait to. I have an inkling of what I'm getting for Christmas, and it is my brother set this up and convinced a lot of people in our family, mom, dad, some aunts and uncles, to all go in on it. And I'm getting a very, very expensive Yoda item for the Yoda collection.
Wow.
And he said it won't show up till May because it's not currently done. So they're pre-ordering it for me and having it shipped, and it will show up. So I won't actually have a gift for Christmas, but it'll show up in May.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what?
I can't wait to see it. Well, I can't wait to see what this thing is and how it works out.
Yeah, but that's I
normally wouldn't buy it. It's something I couldn't afford on my own, but with all them pooling together as a Christmas gift, it works out. So,
Skull of Zizzo's a fan of Mega Bloks. I didn't get into Mega Bloks. Like anything that's like Lego but not quite Lego, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
For the most part, that's me. But that's how I collect.
Those Masters of the Universe Mega Bloks, though,
they were neat.
Things are amazing.
Yeah, they were neat. I like I came this close to getting the Masters of the Universe line. Had like. How do you explain it? They were smaller figures, but they're like buff on top and really tiny legs.
Oh, like those little miniature ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those, and I saw it first. I'm like, that just looks really freaking weird. I'm like, nah, I'll be fine. And then I kind of wish I did pick them up.
I got the He-Man Skeletor. I got Orko. Like I picked up a couple here and there.
Oh, Salacious loves I think you're being facetious.
Yeah, he's got his stream Lego studs, and they always.
Yeah, I've been able to tune in when you're all building together.
People always make fun saying they're gonna do the Brick Bros or the or Block Brothers or something like that, like a Mega Bloks competing show.
Right, a competition.
Yeah.
Crumb Supremacy. Yeah, I got the Black Series Kawaki and Monkey Lizards. Got one from Galaxy's Edge. Got I think there's a stuffy. I have a stuffy, like an older. It was a modern one, but like when it was
The
on the cusp
90s
of
one.
vintage. Yeah, the '90s one. They were little. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
little beanbag stuffies. I'm not sure if we have any other salacious stuff or any other Kowakian.
Wait,
monkey
did you get the
lizards.
Disney one that moves? The
Oh yeah,
Disney
from
parks?
that was the Disney, the Galaxy's Edge. What did I say? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one.
That's
yeah,
the one, the
okay,
Galaxy's
yeah.
Edge one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get that. Although it sucks because I live nowhere near that. Like as you know, I'm like they've released
Yeah.
so many things unique to the park that unless they
I
release
wish
them
I was
online,
just a little bit closer. It's about a 3-hour drive for me. If I was a little bit closer, I'd pop in all the time and I'd get you
I
whatever
know,
you
dude.
wanted. But
I
with a
know
3-hour drive, it's like I can't just run over there. It's 3 hours.
can't justify it. It's hard. Yeah, I mean that is one thing it's really upsetting is to see all these amazing all the merch.
Yeah.
And unless I
Yeah.
find like I've had someone in here in this community who's gone with his family and they have picked up stuff for me. I think they may even be sitting on a package. I don't see them that often because life gets everybody busy. But like I've always been looking for like, okay, who lives next to a park, who lives close to a park, who's constantly going, because I'll pay. Like I'm in,
Yeah.
because there's merch. They constantly drop different new stuff all the freaking time. It's maddening to me. That Engineered says I'm halfway between both Disney East and Disney West. Well, there you go. I'm
Yeah.
I'm closer to Disneyland. You'd go for me, thank you, Ashernak, but I don't think you live near Disney. Sadly, you're going to Disneyland next weekend. Oh, I need everything, Crack Pyrex.
Yeah.
You'd go for Wait, hang on, Astronaut. You live. Hang on. Hang on. Wait, John. Am I just finding out that one person here
Is
who's
he
been
10
here?
minutes?
Are you 10? Are you literally 10 minutes from a Disney park?
Yeah.
Shut up.
There you go. Yeah.
I may have found my pusher.
Go every day. Let's just get in there and get our stuff.
Just get here. Okay, I want this. I want this. I want this. I want this. Yes. This.
You know what it is for me? It's mostly the droids. I
Yeah,
want
the Build-A-Droids.
and it's hard whenever I do because I have a resident pass, so I try to go 3, 4, 5 times a year, 6 times a year. Every couple months, I try to get up there and go, but they don't always have all the droids when I get there. It really is one of those things where you got to kind of go. You have to be close enough to go there every couple
Now,
days and just.
are you talking
be there when
the
they put
actual
more out?
the Build-A-Droid parts or the Disney park droids, like the
No,
carded?
like the carded ones
Yeah,
or those
yeah.
box sets, that
Yep,
they sometimes
but-
do.
but- They do release a lot of that online. They did.
That's
You got
true,
to
yeah.
jump on it. I
Yeah.
found there's only one droid that I've missed. I think it was a D23 exclusive. It's like a Mickey Mouse style droid, and it's like insanely expensive on the internet. So I'm like, I can't justify that. But the did you pick up? Speaking of droids and Build-A-Droids, did you pick up the Build-A-Droid calendar?
No,
John.
I didn't see that.
Oh my god, it's so good. Look, oh my
Is
god,
it?
like it was on Shop Disney. I don't know for how long. I don't know if they have it at the parks, but it's a advent calendar, and so every day you get a different droid part, and so I've constructed like an
do
elf.
they still build to 3.75 scale?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
3.7.
all right.
So
Because
so
I
there's, like,
saw that, and I saw that there was like over 60 droid parts. And I
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
Well, it can't
It was
be.
60 parts or like 20, however many, 25 parts. You only build like 6 droids. Like it's not, it don't get too excited. So I think a total of 6 droids. So there's an elf style droid that I just finished. I'm starting a Santa style droid. Like I'm like, it's like, it is legit. Like this is fun stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I saw that. Yeah, I'm in on those droids. I am in on those droids. In like Flynn. See, yeah, they don't have Disney stores anymore either. So I used to go in there just to see what was
No,
there.
yeah, they
But now they're all
closed.
gone. Everything's gone online. John, I'm telling you, I legitimately have not had a desire to do a quote unquote toy run for as long as I can remember. Because I'm like, there's just nothing I go and there's just nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing interesting. It's just like it's a. What's the point? So. I don't know.
Speaking of Star Wars retro, like, would you enjoy seeing the prequel characters made in 5POA counter
Yes.
style?
Every one of
Yeah,
them.
me too.
I want.
Me too.
I want. I.
Mace
I'm sorry.
Windu, give me Plo Koon.
Every
Mace
one of them.
Windu, give me,
You know they're gonna, John. You know they're gonna do it because they did it in alignment. See, we haven't
Well,
received.
I hope they
Wait.
do.
Well, they have to, because they did this. They started this with Star Wars, and then they released a unique Grand Moff Tarkin that came with the game, right?
Yeah.
And then they did a special Mando, like a dirty stormtrooper, right? Or a remnant stormtrooper or whatever. They did the X-wing or the snow speeder Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
When they with the Empire, and now they're doing Return of the Jedi stuff. So I have a feeling when there's an anniversary for Phantom Menace, then they're going to release a retro wave, do the same thing for AOTC. I think they're going to continue to do it as well as for the shows. We didn't see any for Andor, but remember they're going to have a season 2 Andor.
See, I was wondering if because I at the 40th or whatever anniversary of each film they've been doing these, and now it's 2023, so 83 to 2023 they're doing Return of the Jedi. So I said, 85 was when they did the Power of the Force with the coins.
Right.
So in 2025, are they going to do
retro with coins?
Are they going to pick 6 retro of the last 17 with the coin?
Oh, that would be amazing. See, are we going to get Han Carbonite and Luke? Yeah, but here's what drives me nuts. Like, I love my vintage line. I'm glad I collected when I did, right? I'm glad I got my loose collection. But like, opening, let's say, a Princess Leia, do I have one here? Like, opening a retro, not a vintage, but opening a retro Princess Leia, not as exciting. Like, okay, it's pretty cool and it's styled like that, but like, not as cool as saying, oh my God, it's a Grand Moff Tarkin. Like, this is amazing. So I don't think they're going to quit. I don't think they're going to stop doing it. There seems to be that for the if only for the nostalgia bone, right? I feel, given that Hasbro's now done it, Hasbro has enabled Super 7 to do Transformers and G.I. Joe. They're doing their own their Marvel line, which is interesting. I don't know why. I am curious why they outsourced Joe's and Transformers specifically to Super 7 when Hasbro's obviously doing it themselves. And cheaper, too. Like, radically cheaper. Dramatically cheaper. I don't know if they're not willing to take the risk, but that I know of, they're both damn popular. Real popular.
Yeah.
The retro stuff, at least. Gentle Giant as well. That's what Left Coast Graphics says. Yeah, Astronac, I will follow up with you. I'm not lying. You're not going alone. You can take me with you virtually. you can go there and say, no, I'm not here for me. I'm here for a friend. I'm not here. I'm not into this, but my friend, he likes the Star Wars stuff.
You can put Chris on the phone and just carry him.
Exactly, and just hold me up as a hologram or like a telepresence. That's all it'll take. Because Disney Store admittedly has done, or Shop Disney, they've done a decent job putting some of the exclusives online, but there's so many things that are just in park. Like you can only get this item in park, and some of the stuff is not even for sale. And the problem is unless you keep up with it, like, is this a new thing? Is that a new thing? That's a new thing. You can't get that here. You can't get that. That's the kind of stuff that I really flip for. Like the I would love a couple extras because my daughter would have loved this for stocking stuffers. There's tons of stuff at Disney parks for stocking stuffers that I can't get to. I don't have a Astronac. I need to follow up with you immediately. But like, have you seen this, John? It's an Arabesk translator.
Oh no, that's neat.
Yeah,
no.
It's a key card. So like, I'll have something out. Like I had a shirt on, like a Din Djarin shirt, and it had Arabesk. It said Bounty Hunter. And so Jedi. So now when she needs to read it, she grabs the card and she looks for the character and then does the translation. So things like that. I love the small pockety kinds of stuff, and of course the toys. Naturally, the stuffies I've slowed down on because we've kind of got a stuffies explosion. Kind of, not always, but looks like you need someone in Florida to get you one of the, Florida or California. It sounds like Astronac is in California. But John, I know you got an early day, so I don't want to keep you too long. But like I said, I'm thinking, because I do a normal, like a Saturday stream on MakerDeck every day, every weekend at noon, and what I may end up doing is just dovetailing that with immediately thereafter doing like this kind of stream on Twitch to kind of catch up on news and whatnot. We didn't even get to everything that we could have gotten, but that's kind of the way it goes. I am going to ping the group, the entire group though, and say anybody and everybody is invited to join this chat.
I did send out the link when we went live.
Oh,
to,
nice. Yes.
The guys in our chat room. Or
A couple of them joined.
And
yeah.
I think that's why we saw Left Coast and Salacious Rum and a couple other of the guys that
popping in.
So,
of course, it's always a weird time for everybody. There's never really a good time
Yeah.
for everybody, but
they're
thank
not,
you.
A lot of those guys are not big on the Twitch thing. They grew up
what's
with
the difference?
YouTube. Well, it's like you grew up with YouTube. You're used to YouTube.
It's the same thing. We're
They
live
haven't
streaming.
ventured out. They haven't ventured out. To
Okay,
other things.
but John,
But-
that's where I
so-
feel
so
good.
We'll get them venturing out. You know.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I feel, because I don't want to. If I did something on YouTube, well, someone's already doing something on YouTube. I'm doing. Let me hey, I'm happy to be here on Twitch, right? You know, I know
Yeah.
Salacious, double streams to Twitch, but it's not the
some
same.
of them
It's
are
not the
double
same as
streaming,
native.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
of them are double
it's not the
streaming,
same.
Yeah.
I don't like the double streaming. I'd rather focus on like one group or another. But yeah, I was doing daily and I pulled back because honestly, a lot of the people that were watching, I'm into 3D printing. I'm 3D printing the Santa face right now, and that's what's on in the background on my stream. You can't see it, John, from where you are unless you were watching the stream. But a lot of the people who are into 3D printing were very often watching other 3D printing streams. So I'm like, I don't want to compete for their time, and I don't want to take away from their time. So I'm like, a lot of the stuff I'd rather talk about is the kind of stuff we've been talking about for the past hour. Toys, vintage, modern, collecting, what's new, what's the news, that kind of thing. So, and we didn't even talk about Dorkside toys. Yeah, and I only know them through Fly Guy. I don't even know if he ever worked for them officially. I never really
I didn't
found
know
out.
Fly Guy had some affiliation with them. I didn't know that.
I think he did something with them, but I don't know what it was. But yeah, that was kind of disappointing because they've had really good sales in the past. The Dorkside toys, so it's sad to see them go. In fact, I'd go through Dorkside toys because they were the only places that I could find that would sell cases. Like I bought a case of Dark Troopers or a case of Army Builders. So I don't know where I'm going to go for that now.
I had done the same thing a couple times. Well, I mean, I know Big Bad Toy Store has done it a couple times for me, but what it is they'll, like, I think Dorkside would actually build a case for you, wouldn't they? Like, it was like
Would
would
they?
have
No,
like a
they'd
Troop
send
Builder
the
case or
shipper.
something.
They'd
But-
send it in a shipper.
Because I noticed that Big Bad, they will only sell you the shipper as it comes from Hasbro.
Right.
So if there's two like Landos or 3 Landos in the case, you end up with 3 Landos. Where I thought Dorkside, you could just get one of each figure and it would still come in the shipper case. Or you could say like, I like 2 Stormtroopers, but one of each of the other figures, and
See, I
I'd
don't know
still
if
get
I've
it
ever
in the
done that.
shipper case. But
I never did
yeah,
that.
I don't know.
I
I don't know. But
BBTS is good for, like, I've picked up a lot of individual figures there. They're a little pricier, but it's easier to track with the pile of loot instead of like,
yeah,
you
I
know,
like the pile of loot idea. Yeah.
yeah, the pile of loot really is the I would say the only reason I use Big Bad Toy Store. I go direct when I can when there's a deal. I kind of watch for deals, or sometimes Entertainment Earth. It just depends.
Yeah,
right? And so I
do.
can't. Yeah, that's the problem is I can't track. Like, where did I get this? Did I pre-order that? So stepping away from Black Series has actually made it somewhat easier because I'm like, now I know I didn't pre-order anything. That was it. Apart from maybe chases, that's made it somewhat easier.
Entertainment Earth has had. Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth has had some really good deals. They had the Aliens figures from the movie Aliens.
Right. The Super Sevens.
Those Super Sevens. They had a $70 set where you got 4 different figures, and it was like $15 for all 4 figures.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I've taken advantage. I took advantage for Entertainment Earth. I got the Peg people. Like they had a series like the Peg Marvel Heroes, and some other like DC and Marvel, and they had other fandoms in there as well. And they were all on clearance, and so I picked up like basically all of the Peg figures, the muscle figures, the aliens and and Masters of the Universe, and I think some Gundam in there as well. I think they were also muscled. So I've picked up a lot of that stuff that I'm like, yeah, that'd be kind of neat. But like when they're selling it for like nothing or next to nothing, I'm like, sign me up. Like I will take 2. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been very, very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. So I'll wait. Like sales, that's really honestly like if it's not a core, it's I'll wait when there's a good. In fact, today, who was it? It was who tagged Sean Solo. Sean tagged me, or he didn't tag me. He retweeted something from Nerdzoic, and I'm not familiar with Nerdzoic at all. But Nerdzoic has the modern. Here, let me link you to their tweet. They have I'll paste it there. Can you see chat, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the link to the tweet. They're selling, or or at least they were at the time of the tweet. The quote unquote modern or the modern retro type Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
And so for $99, not including shipping. So I went through the shipping, and I'm like, it was like $43 for shipping. I'm like, okay, that's still a pretty good deal. I'm like, my God. And so he says, when we ship it off tomorrow, I'll of course hook you up with the difference. Haven't seen a discrepancy this big before. And I told him, I said, I'll give you my FedEx number, dude. Like, I have no problem giving you my FedEx number. Like, no problem at all. Because my FedEx number is like, I think I gave that to you when you shipped up from Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I probably did. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I picked those up mostly individually, so...
Oh, mostly... See, I'm glad I waited, because this is look, you get the 4 Ghostbusters, the characters, the Ecto one, and then the Proton pack. One. So, like, for $99, not including shipping, I'm like, dude, I almost got 2. It's like, that's crazy. I thought it was a good deal. Although we have the Playmobil stuff, so Jedi... She kind of standardized on Playmobil. So she's got the Scooby-Doo Playmobil, the regular Playmobil, the Ghostbusters Playmobil.
That's
so I'm like,
That's the other thing to keep an
eye
on Amazon.
Playmobil?
Yeah, I just got that Playmobil Ghostbusters, the Firehouse. It was like 47. It was like 47% off. And then I got the Scooby-Doo Haunted House, the big haunted house. Again, it was also 47% off.
See, we don't have room for all these play sets.
Every once in a while, Amazon will do like a big sale on. I've been waiting for them to do the Klingon ship. You know, like,
oh right, yes.
If they mark that down, I'm buying one. You know.
Yeah. They've got Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine's currently 45% off. Which I already have. Ghostbusters are 20. Ecto 1 is 18% off. And we like my Amazon link if anybody wants to use any of it. Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
there's my Amazon link there, yeah, right? There's the affiliate link. Yeah. I mean the Playmobil still. I had Playmobil growing up. Playmobil's fine. I'm see when Jedi wants all these things. I'm fine with standardizing on Lego because it's all Lego. It's all a system, right? It all interconnects. It's all same. Or Playmobil, so miniatures and the scale, so it's all Playmobil. So I don't like when things get mixed and matched, like with this, that, and the other thing. That drives me nuts. And especially when you're dealing with a kid and trying to organize all that crap. So
I've been mostly for Playmobil. I've been into the cars. Like I got the A-Team van. I got the first. I got the Scooby-Doo. I got the Scooby-Doo van, the A-Team van, the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Yep.
The Knight Rider car. You know, like
I didn't get that one.
I had to have all these cool cars from those shows, you know.
Right.
That's what I like about it, you know.
See, I didn't get that one. Yeah, now you have me wondering. I'm like, I was looking for the through the Playmobil stuff. A lot of good discounts on Playmobil right now. A lot of really good discounts. Some of them decent. Like some of them really good, like 45% off. That's when you want to hop.
Exactly. That's what you really want to get. Yeah.
You know. Yes, there's Playmobil all over the place. The Lego stuff, usually 20% off is pretty good. Sometimes you can get, substantially more. 40% off, you're doing really well with Lego. 50% off, almost unheard of. Oh, now there's the Playmobil Knight Rider. That's 25% off right now.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Oh, wow, it's got Michael, Bonnie, and Devin.
Yeah, it's cool.
I had no freaking idea. Does the light actually light? It does. Oh my God.
Just the light on the woo woo thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And I think he has a couple phrases, if I remember. I took the batteries out, so I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Now.
Well,
But
a lot
I
of
think
that
he has
stuff.
a phrase, like it says something like, "Michael, we gotta get," like
Right, right.
hit
See,
turbo boost, Michael.
all our Playmobil stuff, unfortunately, got like thrown into a bit. Like it's just all. I'm like,
Yeah,
drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. But you know, it's like it's at least it's all together, and theoretically things aren't getting lost, and could be redone. And I pick up Playmobil. I thrift Playmobil. There's
Yeah,
sometimes you'll
yeah.
find like a nice bag of like vintage Playmobil, a good Playmobil, or like a big bin, and then I'll take the
Yep.
excess. There's a place, a local here, where you can sell. Like it's not is it a consignment? But like they'll sell it, and so I'll like thrift like a bag of crap and just take one thing out and then resell it, and then end up basically instead of costing $5, it cost me one to get the thing I
Yeah.
wanted. So I'll do
Yeah.
that a lot to turn it around or to flip it. I don't do a lot on
Yeah.
Facebook. I have one thing on Facebook I'm trying. Well, a couple things on Facebook I'm trying to get rid of, including a horror doll from Chucky. Chucky's daughter. They sent this to me as a promo. I'm like, I'm not into horror. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this creepy ass doll? I sold the Chucky one for a few $100. And I'm trying to do the same thing for this other one, but it's
Yeah.
I gotta wait probably until Halloween rolls around before I'm able to sell it. Unfortunately, but it's there.
Yeah,
It is
I
up.
gotta. Do you do videos on that stuff when people send them to you, or just not bother? You just get rid of it.
In terms of no, I mean I usually just tweet anymore. I mean because the people wouldn't watch
Okay.
the video anyway, or I might do it on Twitch. But like I'll just tweet it because like they're happy about the marketers are happy about it. I do the hashtag, great. Although my Twitter, I think we were talking about this too with the group. My Twitter use is kind of plummeted. Like I'm just like the more I see, I'm like yeah, this is just, I'm good. So I'm there and I'm watching, but like it ain't where I'm paying most of my attention these days.
Yeah, yeah. Because I just got some saber stands from a company, and they didn't ask for anything, but they sent me 3 different ways of hanging lightsabers on your wall.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because you've got your collection.
But I want to do a video for them anyway. They didn't ask for anything, but I was like, I want to do a video and show off, because one of them actually wraps around the hilt. It's a clear plastic acrylic, and it's an interesting way because you can put it either vertically or sideways, and all the weight is on the hilt itself, not on the blade.
Oh,
And the other
interesting.
one is like a cup with a little C clamp, which I think a lot of us have, So you put the handle in the hilt in the cup, and then the C clamp holds the blade up somewhere.
Oh,
And then
nice.
the other one is like a Japanese katana style, where it's just like 2 arches, and you would lay it down. So it'd be neat to sort of show each one and be like, here's my opinion on them. You know what I mean? Like, which style works the best?
Yeah, which one is the best? See, we have some of those sabers. They're not on display because I have kids that come over all the time, so I have to like be very careful.
Did you build one when you went
Did
to the
not.
park? or
Didn't have
not?
time when
You
I
didn't
went.
Do that? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't get to Oga's. I didn't build a saber. Didn't have time. Just didn't have time.
Gotcha.
Ran,
Did you do the
completely
droids
ran out of
though?
time.
Did you build a droid? The big droid?
Didn't build a droid either. Didn't
Oh,
do
you
any of
didn't
that.
do that either. No.
I didn't do any of that. But if and when we're able to go, I'm sure Jedi will. Yes, we're going to build a saber. Yes, we're going to build a droid. Yes, yes, for sure.
The lightsaber experience I thought was really worth it for the experience. There's a story that goes along with it, and
Yeah.
for me, a really special character shows up at the end to like inaugurate you into the. So
Oh, nice.
I was like, yes.
That's cool.
I won't give it away, but there's a nice green glow and a cool character
Oh, okay.
shows up.
Fair enough.
uh,
I wonder. Wonder who this could be.
And then everyone puts their handle into a slot on the table, and then magically the blade is like hidden in the table,
Right.
So then magically it opens up, and everyone lifted their lightsaber, and they ignite with the colors that people
That's
chose.
wild, dude.
So it's like the whole table together goes, what? Everybody's like, it was just a great experience. I love.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The whole story and the whole way that they do it. It's more than just building your own lightsaber and
Yeah, it's the experience. No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'd like to get there at some point. I didn't want Jedi to be too young so she forgot. but
Yeah.
not old enough that the magic's kind of gone. So we're entering that era where she won't
Yeah.
forget, right? And it's because I struggle to remember the things I remember at her age. I hardly remember anything in that time period. I just don't. Like, there's nothing that's incredibly memorable.
Yeah. I
for
know
me.
it's a big jump for you, but I mean, it's easier for you guys to go to California. But if you ever did
Yeah.
come to Florida, you definitely got to let me know, and I'll jump up.
Oh
there.
yeah, for sure. Well, I got
'Cause
lucky.
I've been
I
doing
went-
that with like. There's been a number, like 3 or 4 different YouTubers who've come down,
Oh,
and I always make a point to jump up there and at least see them for like 5 or 10 minutes. If people are busy, it's like, well, let's just meet up for lunch, or let's just meet up for 5 minutes and say hi.
yeah.
And then we go our separate ways. But at least we get together, and in a couple of the guys like Chris from 1000th Ghost, he spent the whole day with us. We
Nice.
from morning to night. It was like we went everywhere. It was great, so yeah.
See,
It's fun. It's fun to just meet up with people. And
well, and especially when you have a chance and there's something that's there. Like, there's not
Yeah.
really anything in Seattle apart from maybe the Funko store, which is neat, but or like BobaCon, if you're into collecting. But like nothing
when I come back to Seattle, it'll be during an Emerald City. I'll go to Emerald City Comic-Con and then stay an extra couple days to visit everybody.
See, I haven't done
that's what
Emerald in years.
And I'd go back to Gus's house and hang out with Gus and them. So
Oh, right.
that's what I would do when I come back to Seattle.
Right.
That's my plan. But it's just
for Emerald
matter
City?
it's just a matter of finding the year I can go and do it.
See, I even in town, I'm just like, it's just me, and like, it's not really a family thing. It's like it's harder to get motivated to do it.
Yeah. Especially driving all the way downtown and having to park and
Right,
do
you
all
see what I'm
that,
saying? Like, it adds up. It's not at this point not as cut and dry. But as Jedi gets older, there's a higher degree of possibility or probability that those types of events become a little more palatable, a little easier to do.
And it depends on what she really gels with and
Right.
gets into, Yeah.
Right. If anything, I mean, like, we've got a neighbor kid who's into Harry Potter big time, so she kind of like, she's interested in that too. We got another neighbor, another friend of hers from school into Star Wars, so it's like it goes all around. It's not just.
I gotta go to that. That's one thing I have not done yet, is gone to Universal to see the Harry Potter and the Jurassic Park stuff. So one of these days I gotta go, because I love Jurassic Park. I love Harry Potter. So I want to go see that stuff too, and it's right there where Disney is. So when I go up there, I'm like, I got to spend an extra day and go over there one of these days and see all that too,
Well, this would be the time of year, though, because if weather's cooperating,
Yeah.
assuming weather's cooperating, it's got to be at least cooler.
It's cooler. Yeah, it's cooler.
Yeah, cooler.
Yeah.
Not as cold as it is up here, for sure. But thank you, John, for your
thanks
time.
for having
like
me
I said, I
on,
want to be
Chris.
very mindful because you've got an earlier day than I do. I sleep in
Yeah.
tomorrow, so I'm good there. But thank you for hanging. I gave you a shout out. I don't know if you do much on Twitch, but I'm gonna have you back, John. For a couple different
I
reasons.
actually want to do more of the gaming and stuff, but on Twitch rather than YouTube.
Oh, great.
Because
Yeah.
we do a lot of live gaming, and I find the YouTube algorithm messes up the channel. If you do your
it messes
you know
it
what
up
I
big
mean?
time.
If you
Yep.
have games and toy, it doesn't. They
doesn't
don't
work.
like that, So
Nope.
I could do all the gaming on Twitch and then the other stuff on YouTube. There you go.
See, I've debated doing I like playing Cuphead, and they have a sequel that's out, and I've debated like basically turning on the camera and just playing Cuphead 2 because I beat the first one, and then
I watched you. I remember watching you. Do
oh
that.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
was all into
I
it.
think it was you during one of your streams. You got the extra codes, and that's how I got the game. Was to do one of
Oh
those
right,
codes.
yep. I did get codes for it. That's right, because we were working with them at the time at Intel.
Yeah.
But then there's Jedi Fallen Order 2 is out in spring,
yes,
so I
want
guarantee I will be playing that on Twitch. Like, there's no question.
Yeah.
Like, at night when I'm off, whatever, I'm like, gonna play this game until I beat it. I will be streaming that wall to wall
and-
easily.
And they just announced the pre-sales of Diablo 4. So next year,
Amazing.
when that actually comes out next year, I will be playing that to death. Diablo is one of my favorite series.
Everyone's got a thing. See, I got to be careful though. I get motion sick with a lot of that stuff. I got motion sick with the Lego Star Wars game, which is really disappointing because I really would have liked playing that. And I'm sitting there at the PC. I'm just like, I what happened was I turned too hard to the left and I spun, and then I'm like, I gotta stop. I'm done. I can't. I got sick. I'm like, can't do it. So I got to be very careful with a lot of that stuff.
You need the scrollers like Cuphead. Yeah.
Pretty much. Cuphead was fine, but like that was the only thing I was worried about with Jedi Fallen Order. I didn't get sick with Jedi Fallen Order though, at all. But I did with the Lego Star Wars. So I got it. Didn't really get anything to show for it, but Jedi had fun with it at the time. I mean, she might pick it up at some point again in the future, if she's so inclined. I haven't loaded it in ages to the point where I uninstalled it, and we don't really do. She's got a Switch lying in wait, but if anything, the game would probably end up going on that if and when she's ready for something like it.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, not that I know of. So, all right, I am going to figure out who we're going to raid into. So that's the thing you got to do on Twitch, is figure out where you're raiding into. So you basically push the audience. You know about raids, right?
Yeah.
And then I look to see who's live right now, who we have not raided in a while. Oh, Declarations is doing some 3D printing. We're gonna raid Declarations. He's been here before too. He's hung out before. Another fellow geek, 3D printer fan. I don't know if he collects though that much. So thank you, John, for hanging. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We're going to be raiding into Declarations. Chi-Town Deke, thank you so much for that little cheer. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you always. I'll be back again next weekend on Saturday. I don't know what time. I may end up doing it earlier on Saturday, John, next weekend. I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know.
Generally, Saturdays are easier for me to join. If you want me to pop on once in a while, that'd be happy.
Yeah. Because I'm doing it anyway, like at noon for Maker Deck, so it's just as easy to kind of like go from one stream to the other and kind of flow that way, and just kind of bang it out. Because it's easy to do.
Look at all those raiders. I see them.
They're ready to go. They're ready to raid.
Yeah.
Here we go. Gonna Tusken raid. Declarations is currently 3D printing. Looks like on a Mark. Is that a Mark 3S? Possibly. It's a Prusa. Here we go. Tusken raiding in 3, 2, 1. And they are pushed off. See, I hold up a little.
There you go. Yeah.
Tusken Raider figure. I think I picked it up on a lot or something. I'm like, it's a Tusken raid. At least I think it went. It should have gone.
I see the raid things going. Raid. Yeah.
Raid. Yep. You can tell.
But all right, Chris, I'm gonna take off.
Thanks
then.
Again.
I will see you in the future.
On the flip side.
And
yeah. Thanks for hanging. Good conversation.
Wish you well. Wish you luck. Tell your wife and Jedi I said hello.
Will do.
And have a great holiday if I don't see you again beforehand.
Yeah, for sure. You as well.
Stay awesome.
You too.
Right now, so we've been doing some maintenance. First off, I had a. It seems we have a new follower. version Vincent. One of them, the thermistor was having problems. Hold on, let me show you. Let's see how those up. No, I'll find it. 2 seconds. Having some technical problems. Essentially, I don't know if the wire was being pinched or slightly up. But, alright, so everybody who's Aquaprint, this is what like it should look like, right? Right. You know, it gets up to the exact temperature and it stays there. That's what you want. Reading that I was getting out of the one that I fixed tonight looked like this. And I thought that maybe it was just a wire that loose. I took it apart, moved it around, and then I got one good print out of it, and then I went back. So I got just printed this one, there's just a little bit of stuff. Yeah, probably just I own the 3D printer.
Oh, sorry.